After this, I'm gonna go cheese the Destiny raid. I'm gonna go cheese Crota's.
Are you just leaving the game running? Because every time I see you pop up on Discord, it says playing Destiny 2.
What? I'm not playing Destiny 2.
Yeah, every time I see you pop up on Discord, it says playing Destiny 2. So I'm like, are you just leaving the game running in the background?
Steam's not even on, dude.
I'll screenshot it next time, but every time I see you come online on Discord, it says playing Destiny 2.
What the fuck? My dad was fucking like, he hit me up a couple hours ago. Hey, sorry, but can we cancel the studio session? I was like, dude, we weren't even gonna be in the studio, dude. Like,
My dad's like that too. Be like, hey, I need to call off what we're doing today. I'm like, we're doing that 2 weeks from now.
yeah, like we usually text like 2 or 3 days before, and then the night before to confirm every time, and we didn't talk for like a week. He hit me up at like 1. He's like, hey. I was like, what? Good, you canceled because I'm doing a podcast, dude. Are you recording right now?
Yeah, but last time our intro was you choking on coffee, so I was trying to think of something good to start off this one with.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, he was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy. And then a good enough for her.
What?
Record it, bitch.
I did. I got it. Don't worry. Fuck is that Avril Lavigne? It's been so long.
Yep, that was Avril Lavigne, my first fucking girlfriend, dude. I was obsessed with her, dude. I had a poster on my wall. My brother would always be like, take that down. I'd be like, I love her. I love Avril.
I think she went out with the dude from Nickelback, didn't she?
I don't know. I thought it was like.
Well, I think she went out with the guy from the guy from Sum 41, and then they broke up. Yeah, and then she went out with fucking Dick McDirt from the lead singer of Nickelback, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, I think because they're both Canadian. Like, I believe Sum 41's Canadian too.
Well, I guess you need to go and be Canadian.
Yep. But no, like, I don't know. I was obsessed with her. She was my first like crush, I guess. Yeah, puberty is a bitch. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. Talking about skateboarding today.
Talking about celebrity crushes and skateboarding and nuts and bolts and Tony Hawk and Tony Cock and.
Yeah, they used to actually call him Bony Cock. They used to bully him in school. He said, "That's what I read in an article."
Right, Buttery, are you street or vert?
Street, baby.
You gotta be street. So.
Yep. All right. See you next time.
All right, and that was the podcast. See you later, guys. It was Skater Boy. I said, see you later, boy. Time for the YouTube video to get taken down. Is that one of the videos you were trying to show me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You want to start or me start? I feel like you probably got more stuff to say than I do.
Nah, dude, you love Tony Hawk, dude. You're like the GOAT when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have more in the realm of actual skating and things to talk about more so than me. Because I remember like watching the X Games and stuff. I don't like, oh my god, I remembered when Shaun White did this thing. So I was like 8.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I guess we could start. I'll start by asking you a question. What was your introduction to skateboarding? Like, what was it? How'd you get into this shit?
Well, I was born in the mid-90s, so that was around the time the X Games and Tony Hawk were really starting to blow up. I think my introduction to skateboarding was probably, there was a cartoon on Nickelodeon called Rocket Power. Have you ever watched that?
Yep, that was on my list, bitch.
All right.
Rocket Power.
So I believe that was my introduction to everything skateboarding in the realm of extreme sports. Also, when I was growing up, we had the VHS, the Extremely Goofy Movie, which is about Goofy's son Matt playing in the skating in the X Games and things like that. So, Rocket Power and the Extremely Goofy Movie were my introduction to skateboarding.
So literally, that's the first thing you've seen, like a skateboard in your life. Like,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Skateboard you saw. That's cool.
Even awesome. Tony Hawk even shows up in an episode of Rocket Power down the road. So, but around the time I saw that episode, I was playing the Pro Skater games. I believe that was around the time the show was wrapping up. But yeah, that was pretty much my introduction to skateboarding was cartoons.
It's pretty sick, dude. I mean, Rocket Power is pretty awesome. I'd always look forward to watching that after school and shit. Yeah, mine was actually because I'm a little bit older, but 96, 97. I was about 8 or 9 years old. I actually got a yellow little plastic fucking skateboard from my mom. It was like a old school, like 80s kind of, looked like a goldfish, kind of the big ones. They're kind of weird. But it was like a super cheap plastic knockoff, fucking like the grip tape was like clear, fucking. It was not even like actual grip tape. It was pretty ghetto, but super plastic. I had like pink rubber wheels. Then I had like a dinosaur on it. It was fucking weird. But anyway, I would skateboard up and down this little cul-de-sac, go over the speed bumps and shit. I remember doing that in the summertime. And
Was it a modern looking skateboard or one of those 70s style skateboards? Looked more like a rocket.
it was more like the like 80s style, like vert board, not vert, but like the bowl kind of boards. Yeah, super weird. But yeah, I used to skate around, dodge cars and shit. My mom would just, she wouldn't even watch me. I didn't even think I had a helmet. I was just like rolling around, fucking.
I didn't have a fucking helmet either, but we weren't doing too much crazy stuff, so we never face planted into the concrete.
Yeah, because I was always doing sports, always doing fucking bullshit. My mom was like, "Here's a skateboard." I was like, "Cool." It's fucking. I was actually pretty good. I didn't really crash that much. I just rolled around and went up and down the road.
Yeah, I did more stupid shit on my bike than I did with my skateboard.
Yeah, and then obviously it was like, X Games, I watched that pretty heavily from like 96 to like 99, 2001, 2002. Very distinct memory of skateboarding was, 1999, Tony Hawk 1. Sounds cheesy, but I grew up on well, my mom was a single mom, so we went to a daycare during the day, and it was kind of like on this weird farm. Like my mom had like a really good friend that owned like a farm. She had like a bunch of kids. Anyway, she had a daycare at her house. And we go upstairs sometimes to hang out with like the older kids that live there. And I remember walking in the fucking room. They had a giant ass TV, PS1. I've never seen a PS1 in my life. Yeah. So he had it on the big screen. He was playing, I believe, School. The level was School from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. I remember him just like fucking flying around, falling on the ground, there's blood and shit. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then I hung out with them for like 2 hours, watched them play that. It was fucking crazy. Yeah, that, X Games, and yeah, Tony Hawk, baby.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like I was saying, the Extremely Goofy movie has Goofy Son Mats taking part in the X Games, and Disney actually owned the X Games at that point, so it was all just Disney trying to push, hey, we got this X Games thing, you should go watch it.
Yeah, honestly, X Games, I'd say X Games was right before Tony Hawk because, Tony Hawk came out in like 99. So, I mean, I was watching X Games from like 96, 97, 98, 99. But like, honestly, when I saw that game, it kind of like made me like obsessed. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can fucking actually control this shit now. Yeah.
It's like the X Games were a thing from 95 to 2022, and then ESPN sold it to something called MSP Sports, whatever that is. So it's been kicking since 95, 94. So
Yeah, weird. I didn't even know when that ended. I mean, because I've seen like, I mean, they still have like some stuff going on, right? I thought they did.
yeah, there's still stuff going on, but I was surprised it went on that long. I figured after 2015, 2016, it was kind of starting to peter out and it wasn't still going, but I guess not. I guess it's still going. But yeah, in
Yeah.
terms of Tony Hawk, we actually didn't start playing the Tony Hawk games until Pro Skater 4. So I guess that just didn't come into our radar until around the time my brother got a PS2. I think Pro Skater 4 was 2001. So, yeah, that was around the time he had just gotten his PS4 and we got, Smackdown, Shut Your Mouth, and that. And I was hooked to both games. That was my first experience with playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Funny because when I was looking through all the music tracks and stuff, I always thought I'd never really played 4, but I guess I did because one of my favorite tracks is on that game, and we'll talk about it later during that music section. But yeah, I dabbled with 3 and 4 actually, but I think 4 I barely played it, and then I just quit. That's when I stopped playing games actually. Like when that game came out, I played it for a bit and just dropped all video games for about a decade. But
Meanwhile, I was the opposite. I kept playing them for another 5 years and went back and played the older ones. But yeah, that was one of the first games my brother got for his PS2, and I just loved the soundtrack, the combo system, and exploring all the levels. So I got hooked to Tony Hawk pretty quick. We ended up getting, like I said, the older games. I think around the time Underground came out, we had finished that. We're like, oh, we should go back and play the old ones. And I think the Walmart close to our house actually had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. So we picked that one up and played through that. And I think down the road we found a used game store that had 2 and 1. So Eventually, I've got to the point where I've played most of the Tony Hawk games at this point, other than some weird spin-offs games like remember Tony Hawk Ride and Tony Hawk Shred.
What the
There
fuck is
was
that?
there's shitty spin-off games where you had the board and you would put it on the ground. It was around the time like the Xbox Connect and the PlayStation Move were super popular. It was a motion activated board and you could just, move the board and jump on the board and do tricks with the
What?
board. It was around the time, when motion controls were the big thing.
You're
Like
talking
those
like it
games
was
I
like
didn't play.
it was legit kind of like Guitar Hero, but with like a little plastic board.
Yes, and you just put it on the ground and it was shit. It didn't work right, of course.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, good looking for them to try to innovate, but yeah, I mean, nice try. It sounds like a fucking crazy experience.
Yeah, we were hooked. So pretty much Activision was pumping out Tony Hawk games every year around Christmas. So we would always get a Tony Hawk game for either our birthday or Christmas, pretty much every year. And we just loved it skateboarding so much that eventually my little brother and we talked our parents into buying us skateboards and a tiny ramp for I think Christmas 2004 or so. And we had another friend down the road that saw us playing Tony Hawk's Underground when he came over to our house. So we were pretty much skateboarding down the road and playing around on the ramp for about 2 or 3 years. We never really did any stupid tricks. Like we never learned how to kickflip or anything like that. But we do ollies and like manual tricks and things like that. And we would just ride the skateboards for, to mess around for about 3 or 4 years or so.
Did you ever eat shit like hard? Anything
I
crazy
feel like I
happen?
ate shit more on my bike than I did with skateboarding. It's like I said, we mostly didn't do anything too crazy. All we could really do was ollie. And we didn't really have any like run butt fuck nowhere, so we didn't have like rails to grind or anything like that. And so we just ride down the street, just on our ramp and stuff. So I ate a lot more shit riding my bike down hills than I did with my skateboard.
I got some stories for that later. But so yeah, speaking of the games, I mean, let's go through that. I mean, what's your like favorite game, Tony Hawk game, if you had to choose one? It's fucking hard, but like do it
It's
right
probably going to
now.
be the one that came out after 4, which I don't know if you've ever played, is Tony Hawk Underground
Mm-mm.
1.
Mm-mm.
So I probably need to play that for you sometime because pretty much, with 1 through 3, it was kind of 2 minute levels goal based. Then around 4, they removed the timer and you just rode around the map and you would talk to NPCs for quests. And then starting with Underground 1, they pretty much integrated a story into it where you would create a skater and you would just go from, nobody from nowhere into becoming a pro skater. Just go from level to level, just driving, riding around the map and picking up goals. And there was cutscenes and dialogue and story, so they were trying to take things more serious after Pro Skater 4.
It was more of like a progression system, like
Mm-hmm.
not just arcade, go through the level and get a bunch of points and shit.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much like, so learn how to do these tricks. No, there's pro skaters in the area. He's going to teach you how to do this one thing. And then, oh my God, you're taking part in this amateur skating competition and you win it. And eventually you become a pro skater. And, it's just your journey to becoming a pro skater, essentially.
Been like a progression based gamer, I feel like you like to get the goals, you like to get all the achieves. So I could see you liking
Mm-hmm.
that a lot,
Yeah.
you know.
And then Underground 2 was pretty much Jackass, the game. Where it was similar to set up to how Underground 1 is with story, cutscenes, dialogue, but you were just doing what was called the World Tour of Destruction or whatever. And you would like just ride around with Tony and Bam and they just blow shit up. It was pretty much Jackass the game.
Yeah, I'd say Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is my favorite. I mean, 1 and 2 are it's kind of like almost 50-50, but like 2 is my favorite, dude. The graphics got pumped up a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack is the fucking best, in my opinion. Like, it's so good. Like, 1 has some bangers, dude, but 2 is just like, like, get pumped up every time I hear those songs. And also, it debuted the fucking manual system and everything. It
Mm-hmm.
was just perfect, dude. It wasn't too complicated. It wasn't too simple. Dude, it was fucking crazy, dude. 2, baby. And I remember playing, my brother had this weird version. I think it was it Game Boy Advance or some shit? Or like when they had like a handheld version of it. It was like kind
Mm-hmm.
of shitty, but it was still pretty fun.
Yeah,
I
there's a
remember
lot of
playing that.
interesting Game Boy versions of the Tony Hawk games. Some are like pseudo 3D, or this like fake
Yeah.
3D, and or some are like 2D. They did a lot of interesting stuff with some of those Game Boy ports.
Yeah, the second one was pretty sick, but Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a good segue for the
Yeah.
music shit. I mean, there's a
I got
lot
a
of
couple.
music.
I got a couple
There's
more
a lot of
things.
fucking music.
But yeah,
Yeah.
around a lot of old heads think, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is the peak because, it was on the PS2, the graphics looked crazy. It added the revert
Yeah.
system, so when you're hitting the
I remember
bottom,
playing that.
coming down from a ramp, you can revert into a manual, and that will keep your combo going. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 pretty much gave you the tools to just, do some crazy combos. And of course, each game from there would add one thing to help you, keep your combo game going. Like Pro Skater 4 added spine transfers, so you could transfer from one ramp to another. Underground 1 added wall plants, so if you're about to hit a wall, you can kick off it with your foot, and then you'll go back flying. You'll do a 180 and go back in the other direction. That way, you won't face plant into a wall and fuck up your combo. It also added walking, so if you're in the middle of a combo, you can get off your board for a split second, kind of readjust yourself, jump on back on your board, and it'll keep your combo going. But kind of after Underground
It got
1,
crazy.
kind of after Underground 1's when they kind of ran out of ideas because they were putting these games out yearly, and you can only do so much. So around the time American Wasteland came out, it's when really they had perfected the system, and there's really nothing else they could do at that point.
Yeah, I mean nowadays they got like that one skate game. Like there's some sim games that are like so fucking good. Like Tony Hawk doesn't even hold a candle to them, but obviously back then they didn't have the technology to do that. But I mean it'd be cool to see what they could do nowadays with the new one. With all the sim technology they have now.
I think they'd always keep Tony Hawk more arcadey.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's more mainstream, and yeah, I remember like 1 and 2 actually when 2 came out. The game is already kind of ridiculous, like, arcadey, kind of unrealistic combos and shit. So, like, when it hit, like, 3 or 4, I was playing a little bit. I was like, this is fucking nuts, dude. Like, what the fuck? 'Cause I grew up, like, actually skating and watching X Games, like, chronically. I was like, this is impossible. How do they do this shit? Like, what the fuck?
Underground 1 actually added a difficulty system because they realized a ton of people were jumping into Tony Hawk at random intervals. So you'd have people who just started playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and they're like, there's so much shit here. We don't know what to do. So Underground 1 added a difficulty system where if you're playing on like the easiest difficulty and you landed at an awkward angle, it wouldn't bail you. It just give you little things to help you out if you're playing on easy. But of course, if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, if you fuck up how you land or whatever, you'll just bail out. So they started adding more and more things to kind of help newer players as the games went on.
I remember fucking flying up ramps and doing 720 Christ airs and shit. Like so unrealistic. It was fun, though.
Just grinding on a rail and pulling out a slice of pizza and eating that. That was more Pro Skater 4 and onwards, though. So.
Yeah, like I was watching some clips actually of the remasters of 1 and 2, and I didn't realize it, but they brought fucking like manuals and shit into 1. Like,
yeah,
what
they
the
pretty
hell?
much added everything from 3 and 4.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but kind of
at this
not.
point in the game, you kind of need it. Like,
no, you don't. Number one, you never needed that shit. What are you talking about?
The revert, the revert adds so much. Like, you don't want to fuck up your combo. Like, the revert just keeps your combo going. You can do crazy combos. At this point, the revert is kind of necessary in a Tony Hawk game. It just completes everything.
Well, what about the old records and shit? Like, oh, this guy got the world record for fucking grinds in T1, and then you try to play the remaster, and it's like, oh, well, you can just destroy
they're
that
completely
record
different
now
games on
because
completely different engines. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Maybe
like any records in the original game isn't going to transfer over to the new game because they're on completely different engines, regardless. So,
I guess I don't know. I'm just a purist. I'm old. Yeah, I was never super duper into the combo. Like, it was fun, but I just basically rolled around. I mean, I did tricks and combos, but I didn't give a shit about the score. I just like exploring and getting all like the letters and just fucking crash. I didn't give a shit. Like, it was pretty fun. I was never like a try hard like, ooh, let's get the highest score of this. But I mean, I played since number 1, so it was kind of like a chiller version. The first one was more like, that's back before they had YouTube and all that crazy shit. Like, let's try to beat this. Here's a guide for this. Let's get the high score. We were just fucking around in the basement and just like listening to the tracks, doing kickflips. Oh, see how high I can get. Can I get up on that building and shit?
Do you know what Boom Boom Huck Jam is?
Yeah, it was weird because I saw the commercials. I heard about it, but I never went to it. I know it's kind of like a little mini X Games or something, like a
Pretty
more
much. It
chill
was
version.
something Tony Hawk
Like
ran. It was a combination of just skateboarding, BMX, and motocross stunts, just packed
like
all into
yeah,
one
like
2-hour
a tour,
show. Yeah.
that went
Uh,
around.
yeah, they tour the US and then they just be nothing but, skateboarding, BMX, and, you know, motocross stunts. It was pretty fun. They actually came to our neck of the woods in 2005, so we went to go see that. We actually got to see, Tony Hawk skate live during this. That's my only time seeing him skate live, so that was super fun. But I think maybe Matt Hoffman was there. It's been so long. But you had some, other pro skaters and other pro BMX guys there, doing stunts. Matt Hoffman may have been at the one the year before, but I feel like I saw some posters with his name on them. But it's been so long, I need to dig up photos and things like that. The only person I remember, of course, is Tony Hawk. But after the show, it was kind of neat. Tony Hawk was at his bus in the parking lot, and it was behind a gate, but we could still hand him stuff, and he'd sign it. And his manager said he doesn't really do that too often. I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but it was still pretty cool. So I got a signed poster and maybe one other thing from that event somewhere in my closet, maybe at home. But it was super fun. Me and my
That's
little brother
crazy.
went.
That's cool. I've never actually went to a professional skate competition ever. That's
Yeah, well,
sick.
it wasn't really a competition, more just like a showcase, I
Oh
guess,
yeah,
like
yeah.
an exhibition. Like, oh, here's Tony Hawk doing something crazy. Here's Matt Hoffman doing something crazy. Here's
Oh, I
motocross
see.
guy
Yeah.
jumping a giant ramp. It's just more like a skateboarding monster truck show. It's just showing you crazy stunts and things like that.
Oh, I see. I see. Like a little
Like
circus.
just like skateboarders doing tricks over each other. It's more like that, more so than a competition.
That's sick, dude. Like that'd be cool. You were in the same. You saw Tony Hawk with your eyeballs, dude.
I saw him, but he was a foot in front of me.
That's like a Chivo, dude. It's like. Ugh.
But yeah, I don't know if this is a manager or agent or whatever, but he's like, yeah, Tony Hawk doesn't usually do this too much. You guys better appreciate it. But I don't know if he was just saying that because to make us feel cool or what.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's like a once in a lifetime thing right there. How old
Hmm.
were you for that?
It was 2005, so I was 9 years old.
Nice. I was like 16 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Old man.
Crazy. Fucking crazy. No, that was peak. That was peak. Yeah, like before we get back onto the other stuff, but like the game, right? I remember actually me and my buddy, when I grew up, I didn't have too many systems, too many games, but my other friend had the PS1 and we were playing Tony Hawk. I mean, Tony Hawk 1, maybe like year 2000-ish. I'd spend the night at his house and he'd fucking like, we'd play Tony Hawk and Duke Nukem all night and shit. And one time we found like a cheat code on like a magazine or something, or we found it somewhere. But like, dude, let's see how long we can grind. And we like did the cheat code for infinite grind and literally like watched it go around like 10 times and turned the TV off. So his mom didn't know that because she'd be like, turn that shit off.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the TV off. We woke up in the morning. It was like at 5 billion, like fucking, it was crazy. That was the only high score I ever cared about.
Man,
It
I
was
love
fun.
cheat codes and cheat code books. We can go over that in our eventual gaming episode. But yeah, my brother would like get cheats off the internet. Like the first time he got cheats off the internet for Spider-Man 2 on the PS1, I'm like, oh my god, the internet is so crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, what, 12 years old or something? So we woke up. It was like Christmas. Like we couldn't sleep. Like, oh my god, how high is this score gonna be? It's like 5,000 billion. And we turned it off and started playing like Final Fantasy 10 or something because that was like 2001, I think. Yeah, we'll see what the future brings with Tony Hawk games. I still need to get number 1 and 2. And after looking up some footage recently, it looks pretty sexy. Not gonna lie.
Hopefully this Christmas it'll be super cheap since 3 and 4 is out and we can do some multiplayer. Because that's the weird thing is, like, my brothers and I were super into Tony Hawk, but we never really played the multiplayer modes. Like, there was always score challenges and stuff you could do. You could play horse in the multiplayer mode. It's just, we never really did that. If we were playing anything multiplayer-wise, it'd be fighting games or shooters, so we didn't really do too many of the multiplayer modes, so I'd like to go back and actually try those one day.
I forgot, but I swear it didn't like 2 have that where you can play horse. Like you can just like,
I don't know if
oh,
2 was the first one, but yeah, I remember there being a horse mode.
yeah, where you just, it's like 2 player. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do a trick, try to beat the score. Your turn. I think I remember doing that with my brother.
There was that. I can't remember what the mode was called. It was called graffiti or tag. But yeah, you just went around the map and you would tag. If you like grinded on a rail or hit a ramp, you would pretty much take over it, and you're pretty much fighting over domination of the map.
Yeah, I remember doing that shit.
So we would mess around with those modes, but it's not like, oh, we're gonna play these all day every day. Which we just mess around with them once, and then we just take turns doing the single player. My older brother would always have MTV or ESPN on, so we'd watch the X Games that way. I never much cared for BMX, but it'd always be fun to watch, the skateboarding and the snowboarding.
Yeah, it's funny because I was gonna say that. Like, I used to watch a lot of snowboarding, actually. Skateboarding, snowboarding, and motocross. Like, I don't know what was about motocross, but I'd watch it. Like, I'd get up in the morning, like, fuck a cartoon, I'd watch motocross, dude. Like, and I didn't even grow up in, like, a gearhead family. I don't know shit about cars to this day. I don't know. I just liked motocross. It was fucking cool. I used to watch them. But, yeah, X Games. I don't know. I just liked edgy, weird shit, man. Like, I'd watch MTV, just heavy metal, punk, fucking motocross, whatever. I do have a clip if I want to show you real quick about one of my favorite moments in the X Games. I'll send it to you. There we go.
Is this the best vert run ever?
Maybe.
Bob Burnquist?
But I remember watching it live. Actually saw Tony Hawk's 900 live as well. We'll talk about that. But he's actually my favorite skater, like vert skater, I would say, like over Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so fluid. He does a lot of finger tricks. Like,
he's good at finger.
Yeah. In some ways, honestly, I don't know. I like him way better than Tony. He does crazy shit, dude. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Yeah, it starts a few minutes after that. Or 2 seconds. There's always that same dude doing the announcements for the first like 10 years. Wasn't like a black dude or whatever with the dreads.
Yeah, Bob Burnquist is always after Tony Hawk in the character select list, so a lot of people know Bob Burnquist just because he's right after Tony Hawk in every single one of those games.
Yeah, him, Bob, Tony, and Bucky Lasek were like always neck and neck in the X Games for like 5 years. We did hella good finger flips. It's funny because I haven't seen this clip in like since it came out, and I remember the run. Like I remember seeing this. But yeah, he's just good, dude. And he'd do a lot of crazy like mega ramp shit where you fly. You go fly forward and do flips and shit over the gap, and he's great. Yeah, he'd do crazy finger flipping shit.
I think I told you this story, but my cousin had a snowboarding game that had a Mountain Dew ad on one of the tracks, and I didn't know what snowboarding was until I was like 2 years old and from the South, so I always just called it the Mountain Dew game.
The Mountain Dew game?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, Bob. I can watch this shit all day. He kind of brought like street vibes to the vert. A lot of really fluid, creative, abstract, just extreme stuff for back then.
Mm-hmm. Of course, there wasn't this many people when I went to Boom Hook Jam. It was kind of laid out similar to this. You had dirt tracks for the motocross, and you had ramps for each person.
Yeah, some other time I'll show you some crazier clips. Like he has some nuts. But you can skip to the 900 though. Obviously, we have to talk about that fucker. I mean, duh. It's funny because I actually saw that a couple months before Tony Hawk came out because he did that on June 27th, 99, and then Tony Hawk came out September.
Yeah, it was just perfect timing.
It's crazy because the trick was already in the game, but he didn't even land it yet before that. It's funny. It's funny because he technically didn't win that X game. He did win, but he technically should have went to the guy before him. Have you seen that?
No.
Because he technically went way over time, dude. He went way over time, and the competition just let him keep going for extra whatever minutes. Like he lost. Like he was second place.
It's kind of like
And
Daigo's Evo Perry moment where he didn't win that Evo, but that's the only moment people remember.
yeah.
I've heard that before where it's not about, sometimes it's just about the moment instead of who wins a tournament.
Well, it's funny
Like,
because that's a very point based system, like judges and everything, like boxing, like that's very competition, just like fighting games. But he literally went over time, and he won the trophy just because of the moment. It's just crazy. He even told there's an interview later. He's like, "Hey, this medal actually deserves to go to this guy," and he actually gave it to that guy physically. He's like, "Here, take it. This is yours. I didn't win technically." But just a caveat of that. Yeah, I remember watching that on TV as it came out, dude. And I didn't really know the gravity of the situation because I was like 11. Like it seemed super cool, but I saw everyone screaming and shit. I was like, "That's cool, I guess." Then later on, I saw the clip again. I was like, "Oh damn." I remember seeing commercials on X Games for the next like 5 years, like in between competitions and stuff. They'd show that clip, just like, "Remember this?" Kind of one of those like Y2K moments. Like, where were you when Tony Hawk did the 900?
I was
Doubt it.
probably, when would this been, like June?
June 27th, 99.
I don't know what I was doing in 99. I was probably playing GoldenEye. I was probably still playing GoldenEye.
Yep. I remember exactly the room I was in, TV, everything. It's crazy.
The Loop of Death was something
Oh,
you
yeah.
did around Pro Skater 4 because I remember that being a challenge in Pro Skater 4.
Mm.
So I
Yeah, the
remember that
loop of
also
death is
being a
nuts.
video in the game.
Have you seen the open loop of death where they opened the top of it? Fucking crazy, dude. Like, yeah, pretty dangerous. It's one of those things where you have to commit 100%. Otherwise, you cannot do that.
Mhm.
There's no way you can make it. Yeah, it's funny now because like 900, like people do it all the time now. Like now they do like fucking thousands and shit. It's like, dude, X Games is just getting crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. It's kind of like sports, like the evolution and technology and training and baseball, basketball. They're getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So it's like same thing, but it just seems a little more extreme, obviously, because it's a more dangerous sport with more athleticism, in my opinion.
So
But
that we can get on to music and culture.
oh yeah. Well, this is funny because it kind of blends into like I sent you the other video, Andrew Reynolds. So Andrew Reynolds is like my actual like if I have a tier list, Andrew Reynolds is my first favorite skater, Bob is my second, and then Rodney Mullen is my third. But I mean, you can watch this off of the clip, but that Andrew Reynolds video is awesome because it blends in with our music category. Because every time I think of skateboarding, I think of this clip, like the Andrew Reynolds clip. Like I remember getting a VHS of America, This Is Skateboarding from 2003. I used to watch this all the time. I've seen this video probably like 10 times, like the whole VHS. It kind of blew my mind. Like, this is my favorite skater. Like, he's super smooth. He does stairs like a madman. Like, his pop is insane. He's like the best pop ever. But I don't know, if you've never seen Andrew Reynolds skate, you should watch that video, dude.
Well, the good thing about the Tony Hawk games is they would have skateboarding videos for each of the included skaters. So if you finish the career mode with a skater, you could see them skate in real life. So that was one of the draws of completing the game with each skater. Oh my god, you'll have 20 skateboarding videos to watch. So I'd watch all those. So I wouldn't be surprised if this video was in, Underground 1 or 2 if it came out around 2003.
Yeah, like, God, I love this video. And it goes to the music part. Like, it has a Jimi Hendrix track on it. Like, I don't know. Every time I hear this track, I think of that clip now permanently.
Like if you're still watching my browser, I know this love sign is on the.
Yeah,
Where's this at? San Francisco or somewhere? Where's this at? Because
I'm
this
not
love
sure.
sign is in the Tony Hawk games.
Oh yeah. So basically, that clip is like some of the most famous skate spots in the world. I think it's New York.
Yeah, it probably is, but I know that Love Sign isn't one of the Tony Hawk levels because I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, but as the clip goes on, it's just better and better. But yeah, dude, just goddamn it. I used to watch these videos all day, every day, just chilling in my basement, just watching skate videos, skate videos, skate videos, skate videos.
Well, the funny thing about the Tony Hawk games as well is you'd have bail videos, so you get to see videos of either people from Neversoft skating and fucking up, or just footage of random skaters eating shit. And those are always fun to watch as well.
Dude, these 360 flips are fucking. His tray flips are fucking gnarly, bro. Yeah, he's an actual street skater, man. Like, obviously, there's a bunch of people that do this kind of stuff, but he just didn't give a fuck. He was super fluid, super good. Just fucking good, dude.
I think there is a video in one of the Tony Hawk games of a guy skating out of the street and a car hits him, so it's kind of funny.
So yeah, that's mine. Before we move on a little bit, not trying to hog the space here, but what are your favorite skaters? That was basically my long-winded version of my 3 favorite skaters.
Well, of course, most of mine are derived from the Tony Hawk games. Of course, Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk. I say Bam Margera just because he was kind of the number 2 after a certain point in terms of popularity. Because he was in Jackass, he's in the Tony Hawk games, he had his own reality show, so he was super popular around the mid 2000s.
CKY, Jackass, etc. Honestly, he's a pretty good skater. Like, he was actually very competent, but I think his highlights were his Jackass, his Jackassery. That's what made him like.
I wouldn't say he was the best skater ever, but in terms of popularity, yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
I love Rodney Mullen just because I love manual tricks and things like that. Like in the games, I just love doing manual stuff. So
yeah, he literally invented so many tricks, like so many foundations of the sport. He literally invented them.
If you haven't watched it, he has a TED Talk, and he's a nerdy dude, but he's fun.
Oh yeah, he's chill.
Of course. Like I said, Bob Burnquist would always be after Tony Hawk in each of these games on the character select, so Bob Burnquist is always in my mind. Chad Muska always looked like a crazy fucking dude. You know much about Chad Muska?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good street skater. Grinding with the boombox and shit on the game.
Yeah, shit like that. So I always loved playing as Chad Muska. And of course, Kareem Campbell and Alyssa Steamer, the black dude and a female skater in the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater game when not a lot of female or black people had representation in this kind of game just yet. So those are also in my list. Yeah.
Of the game, they didn't have representation in the sport, period. There's not a lot of them, dude. It was like super white thing. And then, like, obviously a lot of Latinos and,
Bob Burnquist is Brazilian.
Yeah.
So
a lot of Latinos and stuff. I think it's like a white and Latino thing. I mean, obviously more and more people came into it. I mean, I'm sure there's black and female skaters from the beginning, but it wasn't like mainstream or they weren't.
I think those two being in Tony Hawk probably inspired a lot of people to start skating.
I think she was the first female pro. Like, I'm not trying to pull it out of my ass. I think I read that somewhere. Fact check me, guy. Hey, Carlson, fact check. I'm just acting like we got more people on the podcast, but we don't.
It's okay. I'll fact check you in post.
This is Fact Checking Sean in the future, letting you all know that Patty McGee was actually the first female professional skateboarder, turning pro in 1965 after winning the Women's National Skateboard Championships.
But you're fucking wrong, motherfucker.
And just to show the last time I even watched skateboarding, I guess I got Shaun White at the bottom of my list because he's the last relevant person I remember around the time I kind of stopped watching skateboarding.
Shaun White is a baller, dude.
Yeah, fucking crazy in snowboarding and skateboarding. So
yeah, dude, I love watching Shaun White.
All seen the games and they were just so excited to see me. They're like, you have the gold, and I mean, I had unlimited like service after that. I was getting drinks and I was getting snacks, and I mean, I was taking photos in the back with all the students. It was fun.
Wait a minute, drinks? You're 19 years old.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mountain Dews, baby.
What the fuck?
That's my favorite Shaun White clip. Unless you want to go into like the old school dudes, like the 70s. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Lords of Dogtown, like the old heads.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Stacy Peralta and all those fucking crazy guys.
Yeah, I've watched the movies. I mean, honestly, I've never really delved too far back into the 70s or 80s. I'm just pure 90s. There's actually a skate shop a couple blocks from me. It's apparently the oldest skate shop in Washington or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a lot of those old memorabilia items and boards, and the dude's super old and still sells like old school boards. But I've always liked those really super small pin boards. You ever tried skating on those?
I have not.
They're fucking hard, dude. Yeah.
Like I said, when I was
Crazy.
talking about the old school 70s or 80s style boards,
Yeah, 70s.
one of
like,
my
super
friends
small.
had one of those, and yeah, he pulled it out of his closet, and I was like, what the fuck? Let's do a podcast about this guy once, but Mark Rogowski, I believe he was pretty much in line to be just as popular as Tony Hawk, but, you know, he just did nothing but crime and was fucking crazy, and he raped and killed a woman, so, yeah.
Jesus.
But he was pretty much neck and neck with Tony Hawk in terms of skating ability, but he just was a crazy dude.
There's a lot of crazy skaters, dude. Myself included. It was part of the thing. It seems weird because it's like, how could skateboarding be like a rebellious rocker thing? It's like you're just rolling around on wheels, dude. But there's like so much more than just actually skating. It's like
I
the
think it became a
culture.
thing. Well, of course, I'm from buttfuck nowhere, but it seems like in cities it became a thing where, of course, people didn't want you skating on, you know, the sidewalk and on their rails. So, you know, they put up guardrails and things in place to keep you from skating on them. Or, you know, it seems like it was more of a rebellious thing to more city, you know, metropolitan areas.
It became more of like a. It was just
Urban
crazy
areas.
because like if you think about it, it's like what like the actual act is not that bad, but then other things happened with it, like graffiti and fucking
Mm-hmm.
the drugs and the loud ass music. It wasn't actually about the skateboarding. Well, it was, but the culture took over basically from the sport. You fucking kids, what are you fucking doing? Get off my property. But yeah, honestly, people would break into the swimming pools and shit, like, you know, because they didn't have proper bowls back then. But yeah, speaking of like actual skateboarding, I used to skateboard a lot from age 8 or 9, all the way up to, gosh, what was I? I don't know, 17, 18. I kind of quit around that time, so about 10 years. Yeah, I actually used to skate the bowls, skate the streets, skate that skate parks. I was never like a super duper competent skater. Like I could ollie, I could do kick flips, heel flips, shove it's, you know, backside, frontside 180s, do a couple stairs, like I don't know, 5, 6 stairs, a couple flat rails, board slide, 50/50s on the in the bowls. Nothing crazy. Oh, the highest tier of trick I got mastered was the varial kickflip. So it's basically, you know, half of a tray flip, basically. So that's as far as I got. I mean, but I still
you
had
got
fun.
further than me.
Yeah. But so many memories. We had, like in high school, we had a little skating crew. I mean, there's like probably 15 of us. You know, I was part of multiple crews, like the heavy metal crew, the skating crew, the druggy crew, and a lot of those people crossed. Like, there's a lot of the same people in those crews. But man, we would just like fucking skate around. Like, this is when I started doing hella drugs and alcohol and just partying and going to concerts. And dude, I almost fucking died one time. Like, we went down, we bombed a hill called Maple Woods. It's basically like a half of a mile fucking long ass hill. You have to drive to the top. It's like, you can see the mountain and shit. It's fucking tall as shit. It's in the suburbs of like Maple Valley, kind of next to Enumclaw, if anybody knows where that is. But anyway, we all went up there, we're drinking, fucking smoking. Like, okay, dude, we're gonna bomb Maple Woods, man. Like, no helmets or nothing. Like, you go up to like fucking 50 miles per hour and shit, dude. You're flying down this hill, super huge incline. I remember going down on my longboard, just fucking flying. And at that point, when you're going, you can't stop, you can't jump off, you can't do shit. You have to ride it out. And I started getting speed wobble, if you know what that is. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. I was going so fucking fast. I was like, fuck! And I just crouched down like fucking like a bullet. Yeah, it was sketchy, dude. I almost fucking died. But that was probably my coolest, most favorite skating moment, just bombing Maple Woods. It was kind of like a rite of passage if you can bomb that hill. It was so huge. Yeah.
Not a ton of crazy hills around here. We could skate down. Everything was pretty much, you had to get on your bike. Like, everything was grassy, so nothing you could really skate on.
Mhm.
So
Are you trying to look
I
up
was
the
trying to
hill?
look
Yeah.
it up, but yeah. But
Yeah,
all I'm getting is fucking golf courses.
yeah, anyway, I used to skateboard. Man, the crew that I had was pretty gnarly. Like, we were going to like Ozfest, going to all these concerts, fucking drinking, smoking. We had a garage that we would party in every night, basically. Well, every weekend. Drink hella beers, smoke hella weed, skate. We had like a ramp outside. We'd have like little skate competitions. The cops would always come. But
It was funny hearing people talk about suicidal tendency shows where it'd be like half skateboarders, half, white nerds, and then the other half would be Mexican gangsters.
yeah. Yeah, dude. I've actually seen them live. It's pretty fun. Um yeah, we just party our asses off. And I remember one time I was fucking my girlfriend like on the fucking pool table. Like basically the room was empty
Mhm.
and like everyone was upstairs partying and shit. And like I was just like fucking her like on the pool table. And all of a sudden a bunch of people come in like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, get out of here. And it's like I kept going and shit. And then after that we just like fucking finished and then we went skateboard outside. It was just crazy, dude. We were wild. Just fucking skateboarding and drugging, man. I've seen 2 people die on a skateboard and 2 people break their arms. So 4 separate people, basically. If you want to hear about one of those or 4 of those,
Well, I mean, you saw someone die, so
2 people die. So number one of my best friends, Gary, he died, but he came back to life. So basically, we were drinking a bunch of shitty ass whiskey. It's like fucking 1 in the afternoon, dude. We were getting fucked up. This was like 2000, I don't know, 2011 or something. This was actually kind of after I stopped skating, but we're rolling around. We were drinking for like, I don't know, 5-6 hours and shit. Midday, whatever. Got really wasted, and he wanted to go home. We're like, dude, let's just walk home or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm gonna fucking go. And he like gets on a skateboard, goes down a hill, not even that big of a hill, but he like crashed out, smashed his head on the fucking concrete, blood everywhere. He was like knocked out for like a minute or two. We're like, oh my god! And then he like woke up and started like run. And we're like had to like tackle him, like stop moving. We're like grabbed him, pinned him down, and then called the fucking ambulance. And then he basically like died on the way there. And he had like a certificate of like the record of what happened. He like died. And then he came back to life. Like they jumped his heart and shit. So that's
alive
crazy.
to this day.
Yeah. He was my guitarist, man, of my band. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty scary, but yeah, wear helmets, kids, if you're skateboarding.
Did he see anything after he died? I know everyone seems to have a story like, oh, I saw this.
No, he didn't tell me about any like celestial beings or anything. We never even talked about that actually. But no, nothing. Yeah, then
the other
another
guy.
Coincidentally, another hill, right? Hill situation. There's like a super duper windy road in Maple Valley called Whit Road. It's like super
Everyone's
skinny,
just dying in Maple Valley, according to you.
super skinny, super small road. Cars going like 40 miles per hour. It's a super windy road. But along this road, there's a couple interjections, like steep hills. It's like a weird suburb area, but there's steep hills that meld into this super small, windy road. And this one guy, like Dustin, who's like a couple years younger than me, he fucking little daredevil kid. He used to hitch rides on the back of like cars and like trucks and shit. And for some fucking dumbass reason, he tried to do it to like a fucking semi. Like he was going on this hill and he saw the semi. Oh, I'm gonna do it. And he fucking just got smashed, dude. Like in the wheels. I don't want to get too graphic, but I'll tell you about it later off cast. But dude, crazy.
You don't mess with 18-wheelers.
Nah. He got crunched up all in the wheels, dude. It's fucking crazy. Super sad. To this day, his grave's on that road. We like drop offs. I used to drop off like Led Zeppelin records and shit. He was a pretty cool dude, honestly. But yeah.
And down here in the South, if you're at like a 4-way stop sign or stoplight in the country, you wait 5 seconds even after the light turns green, because you never know if some trucker who just doesn't care is gonna blaze right through the red light and fucking kill you, because they're just on their way and they're not stopping for any of them.
Yeah, it was such a crazy idea. He tried to like hitch on the back of it going down a hill, like he saw the semi. I mean, there's eyewitness reports of it. That's how I know, and we know. It's like, what the fuck? But I don't know. It was pretty sad. But yeah, I saw a couple dudes break their arms on rails. Like they, one of my buddies in 2001, the same guy actually that we'd play like Final Fantasy and shit. But we used to skate, and apparently he slipped on the rail, smashed his, because he had his own rail. Like his mom bought him a rail. It's like a flat rail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing board slide, like slipped on it, fell on the side. Like his whole body fell like on the rail, basically, and his arm got crunched in the rail. Crunched, and he like broke his arm and it's flapping around, like probably midway, like from his wrist to his elbow, is crunched, like flapping, like broken as fuck. And screaming, like, I was like, oh my God. And then he had to crunch it back into place, and then for months he had a cast on and shit. It was so bad. So I remember seeing that. I was like, oh.
I know with some people, the adrenaline is so much when you break your arm or leg, you don't even notice or go into, shock just because the adrenaline's still there. You're just like, oh fuck, but you're not screaming. Or you don't even feel it because of the adrenaline.
Well, this guy was, though. He's like, like flapping
around. I know,
around.
but some people.
Yeah. I was like, oh, go get your mom. And I grabbed his mom and was like, he broke his arm. Yeah, that was crazy. I never broke anything. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of skating experience that I have that was pretty fun, and it's a really social thing besides all the dying and breaking shit. But we used to like imitate jackass and shit and get drunk and like jump off of people's roofs into their bushes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I got stuck in the bush one time. Like we'd call it bush jumping. Like, dude, let's go bush jumping, man. Like after we have a case of beer, just like skate around the neighborhood, climb a roof. Like my buddy had like a rich ass neighborhood that we'd skate. Anyway, we'd go there, jump off the roof into these long, tall ass bushes. One time I got stuck, like head down, and they had to like fish me out. Like I would have got stuck there all night. They had like 5 people try to rip me out of there.
They about to say you're jumping off the roof into their pools.
Yeah. It's funny because this literally has nothing to do with skateboarding, but as I was saying, it's like the culture thing, like doing stupid shit, getting fucked up, like skating, but doing other things, like just being dumb teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
But my last thing before I stop about my rant, when I was younger learning skate tricks, there wasn't YouTube or nothing. Like there's magazines and stuff, but I remember going online like 2000, 2001, it's really sketchy websites. Like they look like a forum, basically, like a really old shitty website, and it would say like skatetricks.com, and it'd be all text based. You'd be like, oh, how do you do a kickflip? Okay, you put your back foot here, and then you slide your foot up 3/4 of the way, then you flick by the left wheel, and like it literally told you like a couple sentences on how to do these fucking tricks. It's like, this is how you do a pop shove it. This is how you do it. So I'd read these fucking instructions, print them out, go outside and try to do them.
My brother and I would just, like I said, watch the videos from the Tony Hawk games and just try to imitate it from there. But of course, we never had too much luck.
Yeah. No, I was pretty competent. Like I could still do a kickflip to this day. I bought a skateboard a couple years ago. That's 5 years ago, dude. Because COVID, when COVID dropped, I bought a skateboard, and then I was able to do tricks. I actually sent you those videos. Do you see those?
I'll need to add them to the video version on YouTube. Let me check. Did you send
Yeah,
them?
I sent you those like where I sent the Counter-Strike video, like in the.
I think
the
I did
drive.
pull them up. Yeah, let me check.
Yeah, I sent a couple videos of kickflips and shit. Remember that?
I think I did watch those. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'll add those to the YouTube version.
But I can go on for years, dude. So I'll let you take the torch, man.
I don't think I have too terribly much more. I was just gonna talk about music, but yeah, pretty much these Tony Hawk games and GTA pretty much influenced my music taste in a lot of ways. 'Cause my mom and dad would always just listen to fucking classic rock radio, so you just hear the same stuff nonstop. So playing Tony Hawk or GTA or any number of PlayStation 2 games with soundtracks. You just hear a wide variety of music. So pretty much my music taste to this day have been influenced a lot by video games like Tony Hawk. The Underground 2 soundtrack is like someone's Spotify shuffle playlist. You go from the Ramones to Johnny Cash to the Sugar Hill Gang to Frank Sinatra. Like there's just a ton of crazy songs in Underground 2. They were going all out for the soundtrack for that one.
What are some of your favorite tracks on just any of the games? Like what are some of your favorite tracks?
Well, I feel like Bad Religion is in a ton of fucking Tony Hawk games. So I like Bad Religion, like a lot of the punk rocky stuff. But Tony Hawk also introduced me to more classic style hip hop because a few of the games have, kind of like early 90s hip hop and things like that, like Run DMC. So that's how I first heard about Run DMC is Tony Hawk. First time I heard AC/DC was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. It had TNT. So I think the intro to Pro Skater is like TNT, I'm Dino Boy.
That's a pretty cool intro to AC/DC.
I think Iron Maiden, first time I heard it was Tony Hawk. So a lot of these bands that are, super iconic, the first time I heard them was probably Tony Hawk or a GTA game. But yeah, fucking Underground 2 has Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, and it's just crazy hearing that in a skateboarding game. But yeah, sometime I need to stream the Underground 1 and 2 story modes for you just so you can see what they're like. They're not too terribly long. I could probably speedrun them.
Nice.
So, of course, just in terms of other culture things, of course, clothes, like we talked about, fucking Vans being super popular shoes. You go into a mall and Hot Topic and Spencer's are always, seems to have skateboarding shit in there.
Do you remember the Osiris shoes? You might be too
might be too young. How do you spell it?
Dude, like Cursive Osiris, like Osiris, like the god or whatever the fuck it is. Osiris? OS.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen these and
they look like fucking weird bricks. That was like the cool thing for a minute. I was like, my friend had those. I was like, what the fuck are you wearing, dude?
Well, do you know what Heelys are?
Yeah.
So I remember Heelys being popular around the time too, to the point where our school banned them just because people were scratching the floor of our schools with their Heelys. The shitty black and white tile floor that was already old and been there for 30 years. Oh, they're scratching at the floors. Stuff like that. But yeah, I remember watching kids grind rails with Heelys. It was kind of cool. I think there was also soaps, like soap shoes. Had had something on the bottom where you could grind rails with. Remember those?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to grind wet ass logs and shit. I used to do that. That was like the thing. Run up, go. It's like that's funny. Yeah, it's funny because like that brings me to the point. You ever heard the term fruit booters? Like that used to be a thing. Like all the skaters would like hate on.
Call me something over there, mister?
No.
Call me some homophobic slur over there, mister? You fruit booter?
Yeah, that's what they used to call roller skaters, dude. Because they'd be like, get out of here, you fucking fruit booter. Like there's always been a battle between the fucking roller skaters, skateboarders, and BMX bikers. Like it would always be a fucking thing at the skate park, dude. Every fucking time. There's always little mini like territorial pissings. Like get the fuck off the board. But yeah.
Oh, my favorite Nirvana song. I remember roller skating once in middle school because we went to a rink for our field trip or whatever, and yeah, I ate shit my ass. Broke into a million pieces trying to ride roller skates. After about 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I just give up. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, they're hard, actually. Like, respect to those guys.
And we had one kind of nerdy guy who went all out. He was drenched in sweat when he got back on the bus. Every inch of his clothes was covered in sweat.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I remember the skate parks were a weird time, man. Honestly, like half the people didn't even skate that were chilling at the skate park. It was like a hub to get drugs and like where's the party at, man? Like it was wild. Like I remember buying so many drugs there and just chilling listening to music, blasting. All the hot chicks were just chilling.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things Tony Hawk's manager, I don't even know if he was his fucking manager. He was just some guy hanging out with him after the event. He's like, yeah, Tony Hawk likes to skate here in state. And I don't know if he was, like I said, bullshitting with us or just what, but
Nice. That's a pretty good skate park.
mhm.
Look up my skate park, Maple Valley Skate Park. It's such a piece of shit. Like, it's so small. I used to skate at other parks, obviously, but oh no.
I mean, it seems nice.
No, the other one. No,
This one?
Go down. Right, nope, up.
What row? This one?
Right, one right.
Yeah,
That.
yeah, okay.
That's the
Okay,
skate park.
that's a different one. It's a bit different than this one.
Yeah, and you
Looks
can
like
click
it's just
down. Click down. You'll see more pictures. Yeah.
Why'd they take it after a rainy ass day?
I don't know.
It's like just a big puddle. It's like a big mud hole.
Yeah, but so many. I actually played a concert right outside of that, but so many people, dude. So many drug deals. And
I mean, yeah, this seems like the drug deal spot compared to like this right here.
Yeah.
You got the tennis court over here. Got the nice grass.
Yeah. I mean, you could legit skate that, but it's not like
Well,
crazy.
you'll have to take me here when I visit Washington.
We will. But see the back, the grass.
Go buy some drugs at
sign.
Maple Valley, Washington skate park.
Do you see that sign in the back
Mm-hmm.
where the green grass is? That's you can walk down there and smoke weed.
Is that the weed smoking sign?
Yeah. But yeah.
What's the sign say?
I don't know.
I need
It's like
lore on
no-
this sign. What's the sign say?
I think it says like no smoking or something.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my local skate park, but I used to skate in Kent, Seattle. Marginal Way had a skate park under like a bridge. It's pretty famous actually. Marginal Way, Seattle. People used to play like punk shows there while people were skateboarding. It looks kind of like the famous Burnside in Oregon. Looks kind of like that one, but yeah, man.
Yeah, so also in terms of shitty clothes, I think I had, when I was in elementary school, I had one of those Walmart shirts that was like, daily schedule, wake up, skate, play video games, sleep. And, you know, I had like a little cartoon icon for each of those things, you know, like a T-post or a fucking stick person waking up, what a T-post, or I don't know, I keep saying T-post, a stick person waking up, a stick person playing video games, a stick person skating. You know, if I can find a picture of it, I'll post it in the Discord and put in the, you know, the video.
That was your life. Eat, sleep, skate, game, shit.
The only thing I know of Papa Roach is cut my life to pieces. I don't know what that song is.
Cut my life into pieces. No, this is my favorite song out of any Tony Hawk game. I don't give a shit. Blood Brothers by Papa Roach. That is my favorite song. There's a lot of other songs that you consider better, right? Like a police truck, you know. Jared was a race car driver.
Dead Kennedys is another one.
There's a lot of like technically better songs, but that song just pumps me up when I hear that. Because Tony Hawk 2 was my favorite, and that's like the first track you hear.
It's funny if you play the Nintendo 64 version, Police Truck is cut to shit. Like they just removed everything in that song.
Is it?
Yeah, I need to send you a couple videos of the Pro Skater 3 Nintendo 64 soundtrack where the only lyrics to Ace of Spades is "Don't forget the Joker," and that's the only lyrics in that song.
The fuck?
Yeah.
This is one of my other favorite ones. Baby.
Yeah. World collide.
Worlds collide. Yeah, I have a list here. This one also is one of my favorite ones from. Speaking of suicidal tendencies, that one was on the number 1. Psycho Vision.
Yeah, it also has the music video on the school stage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If you play the PS1 version, not on the Nintendo 64 version.
Yeah, I've seen that. And then this is how I remembered that I played number 4, because the Distillers, that is actually on that game. But that's one of my favorite punk bands, actually. Like, I've seen the Distillers live before. Actually, a couple years ago, I saw them live. Yeah.
Of course, the one everyone talks about is Superman.
Yeah. who it just went gold a few weeks ago, like so many years later, which is crazy.
I'm surprised it wasn't gold already.
Yeah, usually it goes gold the first couple like years. Like what the fuck?
Of course, not like record sales mean fuck all these days, but I'm surprised it didn't back in the day.
Yeah, how do records go gold now?
Yeah.
How many streams you got? Like,
as far as I know, when it comes to record sales stuff, all these companies just do sketchy shit like fucking DJ Khaled. Like, oh, if you buy the shitty energy drink, you also get an MP3 copy of his song. And that's how they sell records and albums these days, is just through weird stuff like that. I mean, even back in the day, record sales numbers are always bullshit. Like, it would just be a number, a record store would give you, like, yeah, I sold 100,000 copies. It's record, you know, recording companies would just pay off some of these record stores and be like, yeah, just say you sold this many. Just Gator Boys. I'm surprised it wasn't in the Tony Hawk game.
Yeah, I just sent Getty all my top 6 tracks, including Skater Boy, Avril Lavigne. I don't know, dude. She doesn't look the best there, but yeah, I was extremely attracted to her for some reason.
Well, before I upload this podcast, I'll send you my top 10 because I've played more of the Tony Hawk games than you, so I need to actually look at everything.
Yeah, there's probably a fucking 100 songs.
Like I said, Underground 2 has a wide variety of genres.
Yeah, I'd be interested in to see like what the later games were. I mean, apparently I did play 3 and 4, but I just fucking forgot, dude. That was like when I started to zone out and stop playing games and started to, again, as I say, do drugs, have sex, play rock and roll. I was like, fuck video games, man. But look at me now, playing Destiny and shit.
Skateboarding in Destiny with the hoverboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much it was Underground 2, and then American Wasteland. American Wasteland takes place in LA. It's open world LA. There's no other maps. So you're just going from one end of LA to the other. And then after that is when the PS3 and the 360 came out. And that's when Skate 1, 2, and 3 kind of overtook Tony Hawk. So you had Tony Hawk Proving Grounds and Tony Hawk's Project 8 because it was the 8th game, which we're trying to start leaning a bit more into simi aspects and weird gimmicks, but it was around those games where I think people stopped caring and started playing Skate more than Tony Hawk. Activision, like I said, was also pumping those games out every year, so people were eventually just going to get sick of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I forgot they made the Tony Hawk games after a while. You know, I dropped off after 4. I come back today, I'm like, what the fuck? They made like 10 other games? What the hell?
Yep, so pretty much it was Proving Ground, and then you had Ride and Shred, which were the motion controlled games. Then you had Pro Skater HD, not Pro Skater Remake, and that was a kind of janky remaster of Pro Skater 1 and 2. And then you had Pro Skater 5, which was a game they put out just because Tony Hawk was about to, or they were about to lose the license to Tony Hawk's name. It's the only reason that game came out, and it sucked shit. And then, of course, a couple years ago, we got the 1 and 2 remakes. They're really good, and the 3 and 4 remake came out a couple weeks ago, and that's okay. So, thankfully, we're back in a good spot with Tony Hawk right now. We'll see what they do with it.
So you're saying that 1 and 2 is better than 3 and 4? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I kind of explained it a little, where the way 4 is laid out is more sandboxy and going to talk to NPCs. With this remake, what they did is it made 4 play really similar to 1, 2, and 3, where you just have a 2-minute timer and you're just doing goals. When OG
took away that open world stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
when OG 4 is not like that. So playing the 4 levels in that style, just I didn't like it as much. Like when I'm playing the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 levels, I didn't mind it. But yeah, around the time I got to 4, it just didn't feel the same. And a lot of the soundtracks for 3 and 4 aren't in the game compared to 1 and 2, which I felt like had a ton of songs from the originals. 3 and 4, I don't know if they just didn't have the budget or what, but has mostly newer songs. Yeah. 3 and 4 remakes has mostly newer tracks.
Does 1 and 2 have most of the old tracks still?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Like a couple things are missing, but 3 and 4 just is missing a lot of stuff from the original games. Like it doesn't have AC/DC like I was talking about earlier. Like TNT, it doesn't have that.
Weird. AC/DC is pretty legit. I saw them live too. Yeah, man, skating and music and just partying. And I know you weren't part of the party scene, but it was probably one of the best times of my life.
Only because I was a nerd. And I grew up in a place with not a lot of people. But yeah, I never really played much Skate. I tried Skate 2 for a minute, but that was around the time I was getting into Call of Duty, and I just didn't like the way it played similar to Tony Hawk. I didn't like using the thumbsticks, but I'll give it another try someday, but I never actually dedicated much time to them.
Oh, it's called Session.
There you go. It was something with an S. I'm like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, it's called Session: Skate Sim. It's ridiculously realistic. It's awesome. You have to actually catch the board. There's so many tricks, like your feet placement, everything. It's like physics based, basically. It's actually physics based.
But yeah, also in the early 2000s, since Tony Hawk was so popular, you had a ton of other companies making ripoffs, so the market kind of got flooded with games for a while there. Even by Activision themselves, they had other studios pumping out games in the Pro Skater engines. You had Kelly Slater, Pro Surfer, Matt Hoffman, Pro BMX, Sean Palmer, Pro Snowboarding, Wakeboarding Unleashed featuring Sean Murray. And all these games had identical systems of Pro Skater, similar logos, because they were all by Activision. But of course, Tony Hawk really was the only one actually making any money. Matt Hoffman, Pro BMX, had a sequel, but that was the only game that got a sequel. And of course, there were a million other Pro Skater knockoffs coming out from random companies at the time.
Don't forget about Dave Mirra. That one was one of the first ones. That was actually a really good one.
Activision also had a Disney skateboarding game in the Pro Skater 4 engine called Disney Extreme Skate Adventure. So you could play as fucking Woody or whatever and do some skateboarding stuff in the Pro Skater 4 engine. My friend down the road, who I talked about earlier, who got into skateboarding with us, bought the game. And after 5 minutes, I quit because the first mission you have to do in the game is delivering a McDonald's order for kids around the map. So it's like, oh, get this hamburger and go take it down the road. Get this milk carton and take it down the road. And of course, the McDonald's branding is just front and center. I'm like, ugh. So I only played that game for about 5 minutes.
It's like a World of Warcraft quest. Kill 5 boars. Deliver 5 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, I'll get some clips and show you that later. But yeah. But pretty much you're just skating with Disney characters and Disney maps, like fucking Timon and Pumbaa grinding a rail.
What the fuck?
And that Thug Pro mod I sent you, I think most of the maps or the levels from that game are in that. So I'm sure down the road when we mess with that, you'll see. But yeah, MTV had a fucking skateboarding game. Simpsons had a skateboarding game. Shaun White had a skateboarding and a snowboarding game. Razor Scooters had a terrible game. Dave Mirra had a BMX series, and the third one was actually called a BMX Triple X, which was just BMX with terrible jokes and titties. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
Sounds like a mess.
So pretty much Dave Mirra had 2 BMX games, and the third one they're like, oh, what can we do to sell more copies? And they're like, oh, let's add some fucking titties. So apparently Dave Mirra was alright with it, but his agent was like, no, you're fucking not. So they pretty much took a claim to court and had his name removed from the game, and it ended up just coming out as BMX Triple X. So, of course, you can make topless bikers in the game, and there's clips of strip clubs in the game. It sold like 2 copies.
Crazy, dude. But I remember his first game was actually pretty good.
Search that, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, I'll look it up. His first game was pretty good, actually. I remember that coming out, and there wasn't a lot of BMX games at that time. And the engine was pretty slick. I remember the first one being actually very good. And Sublime was in it, I believe. What I got. I
remember playing one BMX game, but I can't remember if it was Matt Hoffman or Dave Mirra. It might have been Dave Mirra.
Dave Mirra. That was the more popular one. But that came out
the first, Matt Hoffman games would always have demos on the skateboard or the Tony Hawk games. So.
Interesting, dude. Gotta love you, man. You're like a fucking encyclopedia with this shit. Pulling out fucking...
Well, I'm kind of like you. I could go into more depth, but we'd be here for 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I can go on with like the bearings, like Bones bearings. Those were like the best bearings ever. Everyone's like, "Oh God, I got the new Bones bearings, dude. You got the Bones? I got the Bones." Yeah, Bones bearings were the shit. Bones Reds was where it was at. If you had Bones Reds, that means you were like a baller back then. I was gonna say like some of my favorite brands actually. Before we close out, I mean like Element. Those skateboards were cool. If you had an Element board, you were like a cool kid. They're a little more expensive, like barely, but they're like premier. Like, ooh, Element. Oh my god. And then I remember Zero was super cool because they had the big skull. That was like, oh yeah, Zero, man.
Yeah, funny thing in Underground is actually it has all those skate teams, and you get to pick which team you're a part of. It doesn't change the cutscenes or anything; it just changes what shirts you wear. But it's still cool at the time. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna join Girl.
Yeah,
I remember
girl.
Girl was a skateboarding team, so that was the first
Yeah.
team I picked when I played that game. I didn't pick Birdhouse; I picked Girl.
Girls actually have a lot of good street skaters, dude. Like, Costin was in that. Eric Costin. They had a lot of really cool videos back in the day. I don't know if you watched like skate videos and stuff.
Well, I know the one. I think the reason I picked them in Underground, I don't know if it was Girl or not, but they have a skateboarding video where they. I don't know how they did it because I'm not a fucking genius, but they chroma keyed out the board, so it looks like the guy is just skateboarding in the air.
That one.
Yeah, like that. That's the video that's in Underground 1. I'm like, dude, this looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist did a song for that. It's like, yeah, like that was like one of my favorite skate videos ever, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it. I'm sure I could pull up a video and they have a behind the scenes thing, but that's what made me pick Girl as my team in Underground.
Oh,
that was
nice.
fucking crazy.
Dude, we watched that on weed, man, back in the day. My buddy was like, dude, check this video out. I was like, oh my god, he's like flying. Yeah. But no, I know skateboarding is such a rich history and a huge part of my life too. I know that's why we were excited to do this. It just it was kind of a scramble, dude, because there's so much shit to talk about. It's ridiculous.
It was pretty much, God, 6 years of my life. So, I mean, like I said, I wasn't going to skate parks and skating, but just in terms of my brother and I messing with our skateboards and playing the Tony Hawk games and watching Mets games, it was definitely always there between the years of 2002 to like 2007 for me. But yeah, Buttery, when did you kind of start phasing out of skateboarding?
Kind of like I mentioned, probably like, 2000, or sorry, not 2000. Yeah, it was like when I was like 17, basically 18. So I skated from like age 8 to 9 to basically 17-ish. So it was like 2006, I guess. Because I used to like, again, I was part of the metal crew, the band crew, the fucking skate crew, the drug crew. 13 years sober now, just so you know, everybody. But so that's when it kind of peaked. Yeah, 17, 18. And then I graduated from high school. I fucked around a little bit, but started getting a job. And like, I didn't really do that shit no more. But it was fun times, a lot of adventures, a lot of scabs. I've fucked myself up so many times, like so many bloody fucking kneecaps and just rashes and road rash fucking parties and
nearly dying.
Yeah, dude. I used to drop down the bowls and shit, like in the it wasn't quite like a vert ramp, but the bowls, right? Like swimming pool type. I used to drop in on those and stuff, like the really tall ones. Like the double wide, like the fucking 15-foot ones or whatever. Fucking crazy, dude.
My friend down the road would always say, yeah, my aunt, she has a pool she doesn't use anymore. We can totally skate on it. But he'd fucking lie and bullshit with us all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was just not telling the truth in that case either. I need to sit down and tell you about my friend down the road and how fucking crazy he was and how he would just make up lies constantly to get attention. I need to really think about everything he'd tell me so I can make a list.
Friend down the road.
Yeah. This is who we were skateboarding with, but yeah, he's the type of kid that was like, yeah, man, I did this thing in Street Fighter where Akuma came out and he threw 20 fireballs and like he'd make up stuff like that just to get attention. It's like one of those kids. Yeah. If you do this in Zelda, then Zelda pops out and like, one of those kids that's always lying just to get attention.
I had sex with Zelda.
He nearly went to jail, but yeah, we'll save that story for another day.
Jesus. Yeah, sounds sketchy. But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I started to, like I said, around the time I started to phase out of skateboarding was, I think, 7th or 8th grade, where at that point the Tony Hawk games were on the decline, and we just leave our skateboards out, and by that time our skateboards that we did have were pretty rusty and nasty, so we ended up throwing them out. and our ramp that we use is also super fucked up from us riding on it for 3 or 4 years. But yeah, around the time I started high school, you know, I was getting more into Call of Duty and hanging out with friends, but we weren't skating. And of course, my older brother moved away from here, so I didn't see him as much. And he got more into things like MMA and things like that more than the X Games. So that's kind of where I started to get out of, you know, the skateboarding loop, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes we go through different stages, man, and there's different things that are popular and different, you know, priorities in life. You know, just like the pro wrestling. You know, they just kind of like it's always there, but it phases out in your attention. You know, the next generation picks it up, but it's crazy because a lot of skateboarding is still alive and it's actually very popular. Like I was saying, the Olympics, it became an Olympic fucking sport a few years ago. So, and a lot of those guys from the beginning are still going. Like, even like
I don't know any of their names, but I'm hoping they're all making enough to make a living off skateboarding still. So,
yeah, and yeah, it's just crazy because, yeah, I don't know. I remember it just kind of flew by, man. Like, I just remember thinking about this, going through the list of stuff. Like, I remember being down in my little basement, like watching Tony Hawk do the 900, and now I'm like fucking 36 years old now. It just doesn't seem like it was that long ago. Like, it's crazy.
We'll see what Activision keeps doing with the Tony Hawk games, because if they do remake Underground, I'm curious where they'll take it, because it definitely has that early 2000s era of humor and dialogue, so I'm scared they're going to super clean it up and make it kind of boring, but I don't know. We'll see.
Do they have are they having another game like in development?
They haven't announced anything. Yeah, they haven't announced anything yet. Because remember what happened with the 1 and 2 remake is they sent that team off to work at Blizzard to finish up Diablo 2. So there was another company that worked on this, Iron Galaxy, which made the Third Strike Online edition from back in the day. So they had another company make this remake. So there's no telling what they're going to do next, since Microsoft now owns Activision and they're crazy. So
yeah, skating and snowboarding games have always been pretty fun, but we'll see what other innovations. Maybe like with the new like PS6, 7 generation, maybe they might have a virtual reality style fucking like skateboarding. You know, that would be badass. VR skating. I'm sure there's some janky
Well, you can go get you some Tony Hawk Ride and Shred for the Xbox 360 and skate on your floor right now.
Well, I mean, can you imagine like the legit Tony Hawk VR, like nowadays technology? That'd be kind of crazy, dude. Like, whoa! So once that happens, because it's gonna happen, we're gonna play it. Okay, we're gonna stream it.
It's okay. When I visit Washington, we'll go to your old skate parks, buy some drugs, and skate.
Hell yeah. Let's do it next year, dude.
All be 30-year-old men breaking our bones.
Yeah, my kneecaps are gonna be fucked. Like honestly, like all the skating I did, all the wrestling that I did, all the football that I did, all the drumming that I've done for 25 years, my kneecaps, I'm gonna be fucked up when I'm older, dude. I could tell already.
Yeah, I've been trying to lift weights more, and whenever I do squats, my knees just pop every time I stand up doing squats. I'm like, God.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel fine now, but I could tell they're just not. Something's gonna happen, dude. I could tell.
Well, we don't have to do tricks. You can just, kick off the ground and just cruise.
Oh no, I can kickflip, motherfucker. I'm doing that until
all right.
I die.
I get to see you die in real life. You didn't die going down Maple Valley, but I will see you die trying to do a kickflip, I guess.
No, dude, when we meet up, I'm doing a kickflip. You're going to see it. And you'll be like, wow, this guy is like a god. A kickflip god.
And then crackhead Jimmy behind the sign smoking crack is like,
do it again, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. All right. That's another fucking episode of the Ridiculous Podcast.
Maybe we'll have another one sooner than the last one, since we recorded the wrestling one in like March or fucking whatever. But
yeah.
I think our next one's going to be The Sims. Maybe we can get Bussy in here.
Oh, God. Yeah, we got to get Bussy in here.
Get Bussy in here. We can talk about Sims, because that's another thing I can talk about for 2 hours, because it was pretty much Tony Hawk and The Sims for me for a while there.
All right. That's it, folks. Do-do-do.
All right. Keep on trucking, Because you get it, skateboarder, you got the trucks. You get it.
Oh my god.
You get it. Why?